On the eve of our country's Independence Day, there's no better way than to celebrate with the beautiful game.
They can take away everything, but they can't take away football.
So join us in the next 30 minutes as we liberate you from everything else and give you nothing but the UFL. I'm Mariel Benitez.
I'm Paolo Buendia.
And I'm Mia Cabalfin, and this is
the United Football League. It's our game.
They may carry different names in the UFL, but pride and bragging rights are always at stake as these two teams collide. An age-old rivalry is renewed as Green Archers Orient Freight takes on Loyola Meralco Sparks in our first match of the week. Amid pouring rain, Green Archers Orient Freight and Loyola Meralco Sparks kicked off their second-round derby at the slippery University of Makati football pitch. Green Archers won round one of this rivalry with a 2-0 shutout of Loyola 2 months ago. The Sparks look to bounce back from a 3-0 drubbing at the hands of Army to end their season on a high note. The Hartman brothers made their presence felt in the opening minutes of the match as Darren lobs a pass to Mark and Archers keeper Martin Villaflor parries the ball away. The Hartmans replicated their attempt 2 minutes later with a long ball from Darren in midfield and Mark launching from inside the area. And just like the previous attempt, Villaflor saves Mark's shot. Green Archers regrouped with their own attempts on goal. On the attack, Shapay Johnson feeds kicks Romero Salas, whose cross finds Ting Pasilan in point-blank range, but the ball bounces out and away from the goal. The always dangerous Ting Pasilan charges down the right, but Loyola defender Patrick Ozaita clears the ball away. The third time's a charm as Pasilan creates the opportunity for Green Archers. Shapay Johnson's cross was dead on as Pasilan takes it on the volley. The Green Archers number 8 beats Loyola keeper Jerwin Belina for the 1-0 lead in the 11th minute. Loyola equalized at the 22nd minute as Jason Cutamora's header floats over Villaflor's head and lands right at the back of the net. With mud flying in the air, Loyola sought to double their lead, but Rufy Narvaez misses a golden opportunity in the 26th minute. With Green Archers on the attack and the rain coming down hard, Pasilan beats his defender and slides the ball past Belina to put the boys in green ahead 2-1 in the 27th minute. Green Archers are in the lead at the half. The Sparks were awarded a penalty at the opening of the second half. It would be the start of the Mark Hartman show. The Loyola midfielder successfully converts the penalty to record Loyola's second equalizer of the match. Hartman strikes in the 70th minute as he rockets the ball past Villaflor to give Loyola the lead 3-2. Hartman threads this free kick through the Green Archers wall. The ball bounces its way to the goal for the 4-2 Loyola lead. Loyola was awarded another penalty in the closing minutes. With a hat trick already in the bag, Mart Hartman coolly chips the ball in for his 4th goal of the game. Loyola ends their 2011 campaign with a rousing 5-2 victory.
It's a difficult game because the pitch is horrible. The ball was like sliding about. Their first goal, the ball bounced over our defender, they went in and scored, so it was both the same for both teams, so it was good. I think we're going to be the team to beat next year. We're only going to get stronger.
We started really well with versus Navy, and then eventually we sizzled out, in terms of losing a few games. But relatively, if we do the right decisions again for next season, I'm sure we'll be a top 2 contender for next year.
Coming up, we'll meet this new addition to the Asphalts from Kaya Signal.
managed to lead his squad in scoring during a number of matches. Let's get to know more about this goal-scoring machine in our player profile.
Yannick Kaya, 4 years old. It was my dad that taught me actually, just playing around in the garden and stuff. Getting into the Philippine team is, as of now, yeah, the greatest achievement. Playing for your country. Scoring a wonderful goal for the country in front of the crowd, in front of the Philippine crowd. I think that would be the best. Prayer for sure. I always listen to music, pump myself up. Yeah, that's it basically. Yeah. Well, as of now, it's growing, and we're happy that the Philippine team actually helped out the growth of football in the Philippines. And step by step, I think it's going to progress, and I'm happy. Like now, there's sponsorships and all. There's money involved. We're going to get better and better, I guess. Now that we're focusing now on football, not only basketball, not only other sports. Now soccer's involved. It's going to be good for us. Yeah. I'll just keep supporting. Thanks for the support, and hopefully just keep following us and get better and better. Do it for you guys.
Coming up, it's a potential battle for third place.
Welcome back. With first and second place already out of reach, these two squads will now focus their attention on capturing third place as they slug it out in our second match of the week. Let's check it out.
Army Fritz and Maxiol IBM wrapped their 2011 campaign as they face Kaya Signal FC. The two sides were confronted with challenging conditions as a steady downpour made the pitch muddy and slippery. The match's first goal was the result of Kaya's teamwork that ended with skipper Ali Borromeo pouncing on the ball after Army keeper Joshua Singson fails to clear it to safety. The Army equalizer came in the 29th minute. Kaya keeper Saba Sadegi parries the ball away, but it lands in front of an unmarked Meliton Pelayo who manages to squeeze the ball past the Kaya defense. Army Singson makes a critical error at the close of the first half. Singson chases down the ball, effectively leaving his post. Kaya capitalizes on the unguarded goal as Anton Del Rosario strikes from just outside the area. The ball drops safely inside the goal for the 2-1 Kaya lead. Sadegi punches away a speculative shot from Army, but the men in black swarm closer to the goal. The muddy conditions made ball control more difficult, but Romano Vestal manages to latch onto the ball and score the equalizer. We're tied at 2-2 in the 58th minute. Unlucky breaks would mark the rest of the match as both sides missed opportunities to jump ahead. Army's Jeffrey Lobaton was unfortunate enough to hit the far post with the ball rolling away from the goal. Meanwhile, this attempt from Kaya's Alex Camara Faye hits the bar and rolls out and down the back of the net. The match ends in a draw, 2-2.
Now let's break it down and find out which strategy was employed better.
With both squads slipping and sliding on the pitch, the Kaya Signal versus Army Fritz and Maxiol IBM turned out to be a very equal match, ending with a 2-2 draw. Kaya's wing play proved to be their strong point against the defense of Army, creating many opportunities from crosses. They also took advantage of the mistakes of Army Fritz and Maxial IBM goalkeeper Joshua Singson, as he would fumble the ball in front of the goal or have untimely runs outside of his box. Kaya's first goal came from a cross which Singson blocked that landed in front of Kaya's main man Borromeo for an easy shot. The second goal was scored by an on-target Del Rosario after Singson unsuccessfully chased the ball outside the box, leaving his goal unprotected. Also, the strength of Kaya in this match was their goalkeeper Sab Sadeghi, who saved many close-range shots of Army Fritz and Maxial IBM. Unfortunately, he received a red card before the match ended. On the other hand, Army Fritz and Maxial IBM, who were desperately missing Ascal's goalkeeper Edward Sacapano due to injury, had very good counter-attacks. Both teams could not have a proper build-up, especially through the middle, due to the pitch condition wherein it became too muddy and the ball would not move at times. But Army Fritz and Maxial IBM, who had one goal in the half care of Melitan Pelayo, managed to score another goal with everyone inside the box trying to get a touch on the ball. The second half saw Army get a lot of through balls to their striker and beat Kaya's defense. However, they wasted many scoring opportunities, especially Army's Jeffrey Lobaton, who found himself in several one-on-one situations with a Kaya defender, only to miss the goal or kick it straight to the goalkeeper. Things got testy between the two sides as time ran out, and the match ended with 4 red cards being issued.
When we return, it's the match for all the marbles.
They engaged in an epic showdown last January for the Cup title, so it's only fitting that they face each other this time around for the league title. Without further ado, here are defending league champion Air Force Rider versus Cup champs Global Smartmatic. With the constant rain making the pitch over at the University of Makati unplayable last May 29, the much-awaited showdown between defending league champion Air Force Rider and challenger Global Smartmatic had to be moved to another date. On a clear Wednesday evening, the stage was finally set as the protagonists for the crown were ready to take on each other one last time. Air Force Rider was clinging on to a precarious 3-point lead in the league table at 26 points, but it needed only a draw to secure the title. Meanwhile, Global Smartmatic was in a must-win situation at 23 points as it needed to secure a victory and claim the title via goal difference. With the championship on the line, Coach Edwin Cabalida put on his best possible starting 11 as he opted to start striker Ian Araneta and Jalor Soriano on the wings, even as defender Herbert Bayona was suspended. Cabalida used his usual 4-4-2 formation but moved Raymark Palmez back on defense to make room for Araneta on top. Meanwhile, Global Smartmatic was shorthanded as league goal scorer Izeldin El Habib sat out the match due to a technicality, while new recruit William Espinosa suffered an injury while training with the Ascals. In their place, Coach Frank Muescan inserted Ogefor Kusmas and Aaron Altiche in the starting 11 and decided to use a 4-4-2 formation instead of his usual 4-3-3 formation. The match started as if Air Force was the one that needed the win badly, as it played the role of the aggressor as Randy Belaong and Ian Araneta had early chances to score. Global, though, would strike first as Ogefor Kusmas received a perfectly timed forward pass from Jerry Barbaso, then manages to outmuscle Joabel Bermejo on the right side before kicking it straight into the goal. 1-0 Global. On the other side, Araneta showed no signs of the groin injury that sidelined him as he continued to attack. The Azcal striker would first kick it too high inside the box in the 17th minute. Then his dipping free kick in the 22nd almost goes in before being saved by Global keeper Ken Dolioso and the bar. Araneta's persistence would finally pay off though in the 29th minute as he fakes off Kimbre Lucio, then kicks it to the corner and the ball hits the right crossbar before going in for the equalizer. Kuzmas tried to regain the upper hand for Global just before halftime, but his glancing header was no good in the 39th minute, and the two teams entered halftime with a goal apiece. At the start of the second half, Global instantly searched for its second goal, as Kuzmas' miss was followed up by Robert Canedo, but it went straight to the hands of Air Force goalie Tats Mercado. A couple of minutes later, Kuzmas had another chance, but his shot went wide left. Air Force had fewer chances in the second half, and Chifi Calegdong had one in the 68th minute, but his free kick was saved by Dolioso. Coming in as a substitute, Global's Areni Ayi made his presence felt before his free kick landed into the waiting hands of Mercado. With time not on their side, Global continued to search for the deciding goal, but Ayi's second attempt was once again denied in the 92nd minute. The closing seconds were tense as Global was able to launch a couple more attempts. However, the ever-reliable Mercado rose to the occasion as he thwarted his opponents until the final whistle. The match ended in a draw, and Air Force Riders successfully defended the league title. For being an impenetrable fortress, Air Force goalkeeper Edmundo Tats Mercado not only saves the title for Air Force Rider, but also earned the distinction of Man of the Match.
Sobrang happy ako kasi nung last nasa cup na kami na sila. So ngayon binawi namin yung game namin gumanda at saka nagpusto talaga yung team namin na manalo kami. And sa lead ng aming team captain and also ako, tinulungan namin na i-champion yung Air Force.
Yung preparation kasi bago mag-start yung game, yung ano ko talaga is yung pusong gustong manalo. Tapos yung pusong gustong bawiin yung galing sa pagkatalo, tapos gustong manalo, gusto bumangon. So ganun talaga yung mindset ko kanina. Tapos ganun din sa mga kasama ko, kaya nagpapasalamat din ako sa kanila na hanggang sa uli, hindi sila bumigay.
Well, sa nakita ko nung nag-score yung kalaban, nakita ko parang nagalit na yung Air Force eh. So puso. Nakita ko sa team na to, puso talaga.
So how was the league title won? Let's take a closer look in our match analysis.
Defending league champions Air Force Rider retained their title in a thrilling last-day encounter against Global Smartmatic. With Global missing key attackers and top scorer Izu Elabib through suspension and Azcal Gidenon Espinosa through injury, securing the win turned out to be a difficult task. Air Force started out stronger and looked more menacing going forward, with Azcal's Ian Araneta, Chifi Calegdong, and Yanti Barsales as their main threats. Global's backline held strong and against the run of play, draws first blood with a beautifully taken goal from Kuzmas. The Airmen responded by increasing their offensive pressure. Multiple attempts from Ayan and Chiefy missed agonizingly close. Air Force start to stamp their authority in the match and dominate possession. Credit goes out to Global's impressive back line. They did just enough to frustrate their opponents into missing their chances. Before the half ends, Air Force finally equalized through Ayan Araneta, which proved to be the deciding factor. 1-1 at the half. Needing another goal to win it all, Global Smartmatic start the second half with more attacking intent. They reclaimed the lion's share of possession and attempts on goal. After this early onslaught, the game settles. Both teams exchanged possession and both look dangerous going forward. The earlier introduction of Askal Misak Bahadoran did not help Global as he was lost on the left wing where the ball barely reaches him. Air Force's defense held firm in the last moments of the match as Global searched for the game-winning goal. Man of the match Edmundo Mercado saves the day for them as he stops multiple attempts on goal by Global. In the end, the more consistent team won the match, and with this, the league. Air Force Rider retained the UFL League Championship and avenged their UFL Cup loss, even with a scoreline of 1-1.
So after nearly 6 months of league action, the UFL campaign is finally over. Let's take a glance at the final team standings to find out where each team finished.
Congratulations to Air Force Rider for winning the UFL League crown.
To get more stories on the just concluded UFL, you can follow the UFL on Twitter at UFL Philippines or visit footballalliance.ph or like the LBC United Football League page on Facebook.
And of course, join us again next week as we bring you a fun-filled episode as the UFL's finest take on the Askals. I'm Mia Cabalfin.
I'm Paolo Buendia.
And I'm Mariel Benitez, and this has been
The United Football League, it's our game.